Hey, how's it going, everyone? I can't go and get my tripod up high enough. As you can see, we're inside the aviary here, and you can see I've got some of the babies out here with me. We have moved all of our chicks to the outdoor enclosure now. They're about 4 weeks old, and they were getting too big to be inside. They were molting their feathers, which puts a lot of dust inside of the house. And just generally, they need more interaction. They need more stimulus, is the word I'm looking for. They need more stimulus. Being inside of our little brooder, I got one on my foot right now. Being inside the brooder was just not enough for them. They just needed more stimulus, and since we've moved them outside, they're much happier. They can really stretch out their wings. They're flying all over the place, whereas in the brooder they couldn't really do that. I know that some people move their chickens out at 3 weeks. We decided to wait till 4 just because we wanted to make sure that some of those feathers were fully developed before moving them out here, because we were worried. The temperatures here in Texas are starting to get a little bit cooler at nighttime. Yeah. The aviary is working great right now at keeping predators out, but of course improvements probably need to be always made. We've basically taken just an old greenhouse. The cover was destroyed during the summertime. It was made out of nylon, and the sun just baked it. And so I was left with this hoop house and not really knowing what to do with it. And so we decided to turn it into a giant aviary so that our birds could have lots of room to roam. And so we've taken a mixture of chicken wire and hardwood cloth, and we've taken baling wire and just basically wrapped baling wire around every piece of fencing so that they're connected to each other extremely well, so that no predators can get through. I'll give you a little example of that. We have taken the baling wire and we have just wrapped it extremely well all the way through, and that's joining this chicken wire and this hardware cloth. And as you can see, I can't even, there's no way that a little foot could fit through there, but something like this definitely could get a foot through and grab. But I don't have to worry about that as much because my chickens aren't way up here, they're way down here. Hi, little babies. We've got the hardware cloth. It's I guess it would be 3 foot tall, 3 foot tall hardware cloth going around the bottom of our aviary. And the reason why is because raccoons and other predators might grab your chickens through something like chicken wire. There's still enough of a hole in chicken wire to where a hand of a raccoon could get through and grab, or even a snout could get through and grab. So we have used, I believe it's 3/8 inch, maybe smaller, hardware cloth, so that those holes are small enough that, flies can't even fly through it. The holes are so small. But then we've gone ahead and gone with regular chicken wire for the top, just because that's what we had. I would have done the whole thing in hardware cloth if I had all hardware cloth, but based on our budget and what we have available, we used the remaining of our hardware cloth for the bottom and just chicken wire for the top. So that's working pretty well. We do need to fence this side more. As you can see, there is some hardware cloth stretching across the bottom down over there. And there, you probably can't see it, it's not going to show up on the camera, but there is wire going across the top of that fence as well. And I spent a little bit of time outside today improving some other things. We do have a little ramp here for them so that they can go up and inside of their coop. And you can see my tripod there. So we've got this ramp set up, and this is how they get in and out of the fully closed portion. Down underneath, this is somewhat covered, and we've got the wire going around the hoop and then attaching here on both sides, and you can, these pieces of wood are actually over the top, securing it to the frame of the coop. Just to, you can see that wire is butted up in there to just further fully secure it. And then we're just using some of these pipe type connectors I guess you would call them more like a strap, a pipe strapping to secure that over onto the coop. And then we've got more wire, and this actually needs to be better attached up here. But we've got it fairly well attached so far. We're just still going every day. We come in and we do a little bit of attaching some more. So they do have this coop area. They go fully inside over here. And I'm going to show you what I've done here. So our baby chickens would come up the ramp here and they would go inside. And then what I've done is I've created this clean out hatch so that I can change the bedding. So I can change the bedding and I can manage the inside of the coop without having to take the walls off, essentially. This is fully closed in, and I'll give you a little preview of the inside here. So we've got the ramp where they come up and in to where their roosting bar is and all of their bedding. So obviously having this little hatch here that I can open up easily to access the inside will make cleaning and everything super easy, right? And I didn't have latches, so what I've done is I've put a screw into the door, and then I'll put a screw onto the inside here. Let me see if I can bring you a little bit closer so you can see. So what you can see is I have this piece of wire here, and I've got a screw inside my door, and I have a screw on the base of the frame. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking that wire and I wrap it around the screw, and it holds the door closed. So, you know, you don't have to have fancy latches to make things work. You can find ways to make things work, and you can get latches later or make latches or whatever. I'm just making do with what I got available to me right now. So anyway, that's pretty much what we've got going on right now with our chickens. Everybody's just hanging out. The sun's about to go down. We'll be rounding them up and putting them back inside for the night here pretty soon. We've got rain coming this next week, so we've got to do a replacement on the roof of this coop before that happens. I'm not sure if you can see it here. I've got these plastic roofing panels that were a little more affordable on the side of roofing. So we got rain coming this next week, and we got to make sure that this is going to be fully dry proof for our baby chicks. And as you can see, I've got a roof on this coop right now, but as you can see, it's quite dilapidated. These roofing panels I purchased from Home Depot a couple of years ago, and the sun has just melted and warped them, and they're no good anymore. So I'm going to be putting on some scrap metal pieces. So here's a plastic, here's an example of one of those plastic sheets, and this has just been sitting in the sun, and this is what happens to them. They melt. Here in the Texas heat, they just melt, and they warp, and they're no good. These were just sitting, waiting to be used, and this is the damage that they've incurred, not even being actively used. So I know that these panels up here are in bad shape. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using repurposed material. I'll be using some repurposed metal sheets that I have. We'll be taking these, and we'll be layering these on up there so that we can ensure that they're going to have a watertight space to be in. So if y'all like this little update video of our little chicken project and what's going on and what we're working on, be sure and let us know. And thanks for watching our video. See you later.